Have you ever wondered how you can really understand a country? Get to the heart of its identity? Well, today, we're not going to dive into politics or economics. We're looking at something way more fundamental: the shared symbols, the traditions, and the holidays that tell the story of a nation. Let's get right into it.
So what kind of story can a flag, a statue, or even a song really tell us? Well, it turns out a whole lot. These aren't just random objects or dates on a calendar. They're actually powerful clues to a country's history, its values, and what it hopes to be.
So, where do we start? Let's begin with America's visual ID, the physical landmarks that pretty much define the nation. And our first stop is a symbol of welcome that is recognized all over the world. Right there, in New York Harbor, stands the Statue of Liberty. And you have to imagine, for millions of immigrants who arrived by sea, this wasn't just some statue, no way. It was the very first breathtaking glimpse of a new life, a really powerful physical symbol of the American promise. Okay, from a giant statue, let's turn to probably the most widespread visual symbol there is, the American flag. Let's really unpack the story of the Stars and Stripes, because seriously, every single part of its design tells a piece of the story.
So, first question. Why does the U.S. flag have exactly 13 stripes? It's a very specific choice, right? And that number is absolutely fundamental to how the country even began.
13. This number isn't random at all. It's literally the foundation of the nation's entire origin story.
Each one of those stripes represents one of the 13 original colonies that declared their independence from Great Britain. So it's like a constant reminder of the country's revolutionary beginnings, stitched right into its most famous symbol.
Okay, so the stripes are all about history. But what about the stars? Why are there 50? This part of the flag's story isn't just about the past. It's about the nation as it is right now. 50. And again, just like with the stripes, this number is not arbitrary in the slightest. It represents the current state of the Union. It's because there is one star for each of the 50 states. And that's what's so cool about the flag. It tells this dynamic story. From 13 colonial stripes to 50 state stars, you can literally see the nation's growth.
So, we've seen the visual symbols. Now let's explore the more abstract ideas that bind the nation together, the words and the music you find in its anthem and motto.
The national anthem is the Star-Spangled Banner. And just notice the title. It links directly back to the flag we were just talking about, connecting that powerful visual to the song that celebrates it.
Next up is the nation's first motto, E Pluribus Unum. Just hearing the Latin gives you a sense of its historical weight, right? It dates all the way back to the country's founding generation.
So what does it actually mean? Out of many, one. This single phrase is, you could argue, at the very center of the American identity. It's this idea that people from all these different backgrounds can come together to form a single nation. It perfectly echoes the flag's story too. Out of 13 colonies, one country. Out of 50 states, one union.
All right, so we've covered symbols we can see and ideas we can express. But how are these things actually lived out by people? Well, that brings us to the nation's calendar, where time is marked together through shared holidays. The biggest one, of course, is Independence Day. This is the holiday that celebrates U.S. independence from Britain. Long story short, it's the country's birthday. It all goes back to that moment those 13 original colonies decided to become a new nation.
Of course, Independence Day is just one of many national holidays. The calendar marks everything from the New Year to celebrating freedom on Juneteenth. But a few of these holidays are specifically dedicated to honoring service and sacrifice, and it's actually really important to know the difference between them.
So let's focus on that theme of remembrance for a second. There are two key holidays that honor military service, but honestly, they get confused all the time. Understanding the distinct meaning behind each one is pretty crucial.
The distinction is actually simple, but it's so important. Memorial Day specifically honors military members who died in service. It's a day of solemn remembrance for those who made the ultimate sacrifice. Veterans Day, on the other hand, honors all people who have served in the U.S. military, living or not. So one is for the fallen, the other is for everyone who has ever worn the uniform. Okay, so let's bring it all back together. You've got a flag with 50 stars, holidays on a shared calendar, a statue, and a harbor. These aren't just separate random symbols. They are all pieces of a much bigger puzzle, and they're all telling one continuous story. And what is that story? Well, it all comes back to that one foundational idea we talked about. Out of many, one. Think about it. Out of 13 colonies, one nation. Out of 50 states, one flag. And out of countless individuals, one people, united by these shared symbols and traditions.
So, it's clear these symbols and holidays define America's past and its present. But the question that leaves us with is, how will they shape its future? Thanks for joining me on this one.